We got a newcomer. But before we do anything else, right, I just need to stop you for 1 second. Stop your scrolling, right, Pete? Stop the scrolling over there, Pete. Stop multitasking. Just be right here because what we're about to talk about today, it matters. It might be the most important conversation you'll hear all year. And today we are going all in on men's mental health. Pete's here as always. David, Joel, we're going to get into the introductions in a bit. Everybody knows Pete. Everybody knows David. Joel's a newcomer. So I just want to welcome everyone in, right? The show tonight, we're going to talk about real life, real growth, and what it actually takes to become the best version of yourself. I'm Jimmy Leary, right? And today is just not a regular episode. Today is a roundtable. Men and women sitting together, being honest, being vulnerable, being brave. And here's the thing. The bravery, that is strength. According to the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, men die by suicide nearly 4 times the rate of women. 4 times. Let that sink in. And yet we still live in a world that tells men, tough it out, walk it off, be a man. Well, today we're rewriting that script. We're saying being a man means asking for help. Being a man means going first. Being a man means showing up for yourself and for the people who love you. And again, I want to introduce everybody around here. We got my main man down there, Pete. Pete's my favorite. He knows that. My number one go-to. Pete is the host of Voice of the Voiceless, and his main show is Pete vs. the Anxiety Pod, which I had I met Pete through that, and we've started a community together. Pete has his community, I have mine. And we got my man David up there. David got everything under the sun. We got David, let them know. You got so much, I can't even get into it, how much you got.
Oh, boy. So is Broke But Not Out, which is a men's mental health. We have Blown Pistons, which is automotive. Let's see, my wife's got a show on there called Living Well with Bad Habits. All of our kids have their own thing. Pete actually has his stuff on our network. And we got, a few different shows that we're starting up. There's a lot going on.
A lot.
He got everything. Go check it out. Go check out his network. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And we got Joel. Joel, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Jewel. I started out on TikTok. I'm a GQ Live TikTok host every day, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also am a Gen Gager, and that is how I met Maureen. And then that is how I met Pete as well. And then we all 3 other creators, so me, Maureen, Mike for the win, and Anthony. We all started the Truth Table podcast. And we're working on week 5 right now, I think. 5 or 6.
That's awesome. And where can they find the Truth Table podcast?
We're on all platforms. You can just go to Truth Table Podcast, Unapologetic AF.
You also can see Jewel. She was on Voice of the Voiceless this past week. Me too. Her episode's out now, so guys, go check it out wherever you want. She was great to have. She came and co-hosted with me because Maddie couldn't be there, so we had a blast. It was a great time. Again with the sound effects. All right, here we go. Okay.
Pete, that was not for you, Pete. Pete, the clapping was not for you. The clapping was for Jewel. The clapping was for Jewel. It was not for you, Pete. So don't let that get to your head. So guys and girls, right, let's go around the table. Give us the one moment in your life, right, when you realized your mental health needed real attention. Not a vague feeling, but one specific moment. And what happened? We'll start with Pete.
God, dude, before I even started this show, that moment happened. I just realized that, something just happened in a moment. I was having a disagreement with my ex-wife at the time, and it just hit me dude, I got to do something. This is not right. The way I feel, the way I'm doing things, it just, and after we also did a men's mental health one with my other podcast, Pete's Corner Store, it was just it was already in the back of my head because I was dude, this is some crazy numbers we're looking at. Even like you said, 4 times more likely than women, dude. It's but we don't talk about this enough, but everybody says, oh, we're talking about it. Okay, so then explain the number, why it keeps going up. If we're talking about it, where? Where? Why not? Why is this number continue going up? You know, even 10 to 14 was going up, and that's the craziest part too. 10 to 14 years old kids are the rising number, and that alone is just like we're losing kids too early.
Too early, and that's the big thing. And I, you know,
Mhm.
Pete's podcast, probably similar to mine, was born out of turning pain into purpose, right? And that's the big thing. So, David, when was your moment, right? You have one moment in life when you realized your mental health needed real attention.
Oh boy. So about 10 years ago, my ex that I was with, a very abusive relationship, she, massively into partying, drugs, sleeping around. I was working 2 jobs. She decided to leave me and be with the neighbor. So left me with 4 boys at the time. And so every night she'd, when she'd come home, she'd make it a note to like get close to him right in front of me, and it was just mentally killing me. I actually tried to kill myself 3 times within that time period, but luckily, something got me back out of that every single time. Not really sure how. I mean, the one time I was about to try to like hang myself, and then something like punched me in the gut, and I got over it. The other time, took a bunch of pills, woke up like an hour later, puking my guts out. So I'm not sure what was going on there, and yeah, it stemmed off from that, and now and we're dealing with it and talking about it on my show, Broke But Not Out, and also my wife, who has helped me break down barriers and walls that I'd always put up for years. And yeah, living with the stigma of men don't cry, men don't talk about their feelings, and all that fun stuff. It was something that was ingrained into my life growing up, and you don't show that side, and the more you don't show that side, the more it buries you, and the more you get in that dark place. So luckily, thanks to my wife and good friends, it's helped. I mean, lately, when we purchased the network, we had an issue where we lost everybody, and luckily, I got Pete especially that I can call up, and I mean, it does help. And I know if anybody is in that boat and needs a phone call, hey, I'll give you my phone number. I don't care who you are. But yeah, that was about it. And now, luckily, thanks to my wife, I've got everything changed around and mentally getting better. Still got my downsides with everything that's going on, but for the most part, I haven't gotten to that dark of a place lately.
That's great. That's great to hear. So, Jewel, right? Give us that one moment in your life when you realized your mental health needed real attention.
I mean, I struggled with mental health pretty much my whole life, with ADHD, postpartum depression and anxiety is how it started out. And then in 2022, my husband went septic and almost died right in front of me. So that's where it really took a turn for the worse. And it just it rapidly declined because I wasn't seeking treatment, because I was too worried about focusing on my husband and everything.
Yeah.
And then just with like a whole bunch of stuff from the past, I was trying to self-medicate with alcohol. I became addicted to alcohol. And I've lost a lot of jobs over the years because of my ADHD. And so October 2024, I had lost another job, because I couldn't get there on time. And there was just a lot of family things going on around that time too. And it really just hit me all of a sudden. And I don't remember the whole last week of that October. And then my husband ended up calling 911, and then I was put in the psych hospital for 3 weeks. And I came out with the bipolar diagnosis. So I have bipolar 2, which explains why my depressive episodes are so long and intense.
So that's when you found out, right? When you found out, so it was sort of a blessing in disguise, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, when I learned my mental health was, not good, and it wasn't from myself. It was from someone in the neighborhood who sent me a Facebook message and hit me with the truth. We talked it out, and it sort of put me on a path to turning things around. But seeing that somebody cared, right? Seeing that somebody cared, that was the big thing, because we always want to be seen and heard and validated, and our feelings are valid. And I appreciate that person that helped out, that came through. It was awesome. So, guys, we'll start with David on this one, right? Men are conditioned from a young age, right? Toughen up, don't cry, figure it out. How did that conditioning show up in your life? When did you start to push back against it?
Luckily, again, thanks to my wife, she kind of got me to the point where, sitting down, and if we have an argument or something, I'd bottle everything up, and eventually it would just explode. And she's like, if you don't talk about the things that are really bugging you in your life, you're just going to keep doing that. And someday it's going to get really bad. And she's like, she even said straight out, I could end up walking away from you. So at that point, I tried counseling. That didn't work because I just basically messed with the counselor and told them what they wanted to hear, and everything was fine, but nothing seemed to really help. And just my wife is the biggest push for me to kind of open up and get to that more personal, I guess, emotional side of my life. Because ever since growing up, I was always told, if you get hurt, if something happens to you, if somebody dies, you don't show any emotion. You just push through it and walk through it. Well, you're just going to keep burying it and bottling it up. And eventually, the toughest person's going to crack. And when they crack, it's never a good thing, because, it would just go, like, when I'd hit that limit, it would be, I'm fine, I get mad, and then just boom, it's like just seeing red. And it's not healthy for anything. It's not healthy for the kids. And now with her, how she's gotten me to where I open up more, I've told the boys, hey, there's times you want to be a man, but at the same time, you're not being a man, or you're not being a man by showing emotions. If you have something bothering you, come talk to us, because they're the same way. They'll sit there and bottle something up, and the next thing you know, they're having an all-out brawl, and it's like, wait a minute, there's other ways to handle this. So I've got to give a massive credit to my wife, because she's the one that really got me to the point of understanding that it's okay to let the emotions out. It's okay to show more of your sensitive side, or your feelings, or if something's bothering you, to let it out. So she's pretty much my rock on that part.
Pete, what about for you, brother?
Listen, I spent
Pete,
most
the common denominator.
I spent most of my time by myself. Listen, don't laugh at my nickname, okay? It was great. It was genius when you found out about it, okay? Don't be like that, all right? I'll give you your own nickname soon, Jimmy. Don't worry, okay? I'll get you one too, okay?
I got plenty of nicknames.
He's like, I got plenty. No, man, listen, honestly, I spent a lot of my childhood by myself. After my parents divorced, my dad, I stayed with my mom for a long time until that moment where she just dropped me off at his doorstep, and then after that, I really didn't see him much because he was always working as a kid. So I kind of had to figure things out on my own. So it's more of just like the things you see on TV, that all the things of these macho people. Oh, real men don't cry, and all the other shit they always tell you, and things like that. And it wasn't to discredit him as a parent. He was working. What he had to do to take care of the bills for us. So I had a place to live. So I spent an awful lot of time by myself, probably way more than I probably should have. But, I had to raise myself most of the time. I was by myself, 90% of the time actually by myself. I saw my siblings every other weekend when they came to visit. Other than that, it was pretty much a lot of times with myself. So, I really didn't really know much about anything until later on, until I started realizing that I was having a problem. And even at that, I had all girls. So, I had to look at things differently too, because girls don't think the same way guys do. So, you can't raise them the same way you would a boy, tell them to be tough. You have to have that sensitive side. So.
Yeah. And Joel, I know, it's more towards men, but, for you, what are some things, right, that conditioned you, that showed up in your life, that you were told as a woman?
Well, I grew up with brothers, so I was always told that I had to be the tough one because my brothers were the men and they were tough. So I had to be like them and I had to suck it up. And that was always annoying whenever I was a kid, because
Yeah.
I was always a lot smaller and they would pick on me all the time and I would get hurt. And yeah, so that was annoying. But like my husband, like he never really like showed his feelings like until he met me. And even after he met me, it took him a while because like back then, like you were just raised like tough it up. Don't cry. Men don't cry. So like I remember the first time he cried in front of me, like he was so embarrassed. And I'm like, no, it's okay. And like he like I mean, because I struggle with my mental health, I've been through a lot, so I kind of know I've been around the block a time or two. So like whenever he struggles, like he had an anxiety attack for the first time ever and he was like, "Oh my god, I don't know what's going on." Like I was able to walk him through it. But it's just like it's so I don't know. Men have feelings too.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. You know, for me,
Mhm.
like one of the running jokes when I was younger was Jimmy got his mad face on, right? Jimmy got his mad face on. And my mad face was me wanting to cry so bad, right? But I just couldn't. So I would put this mad face on, like, oh, I'm this big tough guy, right? But deep down inside, all I wanted to do was cry, And so that was like the running joke, but it was almost like frustrations for me because when I showed emotion, especially growing up in the city, right? And excuse my language, kids would be like, "You're a pussy," you know what I mean? Like, get up, you're a pussy, like that. And you'd be crying, right? Like someone would die, and they'd be like, "Oh, well, like my best friend died," and I remember people saying to me, "Oh, well, he was on drugs," and it doesn't fucking matter. I was crying, and I think guys need to realize that it's okay to show emotion, right? Feel your feelings, feel
Mhm.
them, feel them, feel them, but also, right, speak up about them, speak out about it, right? If you're feeling not heard, speak up about it. If you're feeling shitty, right, reach out to somebody. But the big thing is reaching out to somebody and letting them know, hey, I'm not okay, right? But once you do that, it can almost be freeing. But you also have to have, and we talk about this every week, you have to have somebody there that's willing and able to even just hold space if they have to, not to solve your problems because they're not going to be able to, but just to sit with you, maybe give you a hug, listen to you. Because it's not all about when someone comes to you, it's not all about comparing, right? Tragedy, comparing traumas,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
then that person's going to shut down and never come back again, right? Because that happened to me so many times in my life. I'd open up to people that I loved, that I trusted, and I would be sort of shut down. So it was like, what? I'm just going to bottle it up, bottle it up, bottle it up. I put a thing up today on TikTok and Instagram and all those photos of me when I was close to 380 pounds. I was just lost, and I look back and, my hair's going crazy every which way. And I got no neck, right? I could barely breathe, could barely sleep. But I was going through it. I was in the middle of it. And, some of people texted me today, like, oh, why would you put pictures up like that? Why? Because it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to see a show, guys, right? Where I was through my struggles, right? And where I am today, being able to host this roundtable, right? Have Jewel on, have Pete,
Wait,
right? Have
wait.
David on.
Somebody texted you and asked you why you put those photos up? Like, fuck
Yeah,
them,
somebody
man.
texted me
Like,
and was like, why would you
you know
put
what?
those embarrassing photos up?
My answer to that is go fuck yourself.
No,
Honestly,
you know what I said to them, Pete?
it's your
Mhm.
social media. You put up what you want to put up. What does
No,
it
what I
matter?
what I said to them, Pete, was then you didn't listen to the video. Then, if you listened to
Yeah,
the video, it was all about my struggles and where I was, right, to where I am today, and for people to reach out, right. And the
yeah.
video was me saying, "Hey, this is when I was going through it, and the one big thing I wish I did was reached out to somebody, right." And I didn't because I kept it bottled up. So I want guys to see it, right? This is where it can lead you to. But now speak up because it's okay. Because we're building a community here, right? David's building his. Pete got his. Pete got like 7 million
David's
followers
building
on
a whole
TikTok.
village over
But
there, I
David got
think.
a
You know,
network, and
right?
you know, and Jules got the TikTok and all that. and it's awesome, right? We're building our community, so
No,
you
but
know,
like for real though, somebody texts you and asks, it's like that's so ignorant. Like, what
yeah,
does it matter what you're posting, man? It's like,
I had to block. I literally blocked almost everyone in my family because they always criticize everything that I post on social media.
yeah,
And like whenever I came out of the mental health hospital with the bipolar diagnosis, like all my friends, like they just ghosted me. They just like left me on red. So I turned to TikTok and I started building my community
yeah,
there.
yeah.
And I
Yep.
Jewel,
remember like a
Jewel, where you
bunch
could be
of
seen, where you could be heard, right?
yeah, a bunch of like my family saw it, or like I think one of my mom's friends saw a video and then she sent it to my mom, and my mom was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
oh
Blah blah blah
no.
blah blah, and I'm like, "Okay, block."
I actually got something like that last week because I took all of my family off last August, and my grandfather actually just passed away, and I did a little memorial thing for him because I mean he's still my grandpa, but granted, some of the crap they did was really well shitty. But I got a phone call from my grandmother about 2 weeks ago, and she's like, "I just seen this your show, your podcast, and you're on there just doing this, and it's all lies just to get attention and all that." And it's like, no, it's not lies. It's like I just basically said the bullshit that was coming out with my family, and I'm the one that was brave enough to talk about it, and like the fact that it's out there. And I mean, she's like, well, they didn't even realize that I took all of them off Facebook. They didn't realize that I've got the book out. They didn't realize any of this. And the show she was complaining about, I did almost a year ago, and she just now seen it. It's like, okay, terrific.
Yeah,
Thanks for the download.
exactly.
Right?
You know,
Thanks for
and
the
what I,
download.
here's the thing for people on social media, and I say this, and I think all four of us live it. Social media is supposed to be everything, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, right? Everything that's going on in your life, how you're feeling. But again, that's your social media. Nobody should be telling you. Nobody should be, there's hate that comes along with it. Believe me, I'm starting to get that. And the big thing is just be yourself, be your authentic self. Everybody likes to show the great moments in life, but we all know there's down moments and there's bad times, right? What's wrong with showing that?
Let's
People
take a walk down my
criticize us for that.
Instagram feed sometime. And my good friend, my lady friend Trina would tell you that 100%. She doesn't like my Instagram feed, but people comment all my videos. Like my parents see my videos, my mom sees them and responds to them too. And a lot of them aren't fun. They're not fun. A lot of them are suicide videos of just things that get said, And she
Yeah.
responds to them with sad faces. But it's a real topic that needs to be discussed because this number is just going, And my wall. My phone until recently was a Robin Williams quote where it said, like, I think it was back in March no, February. It was back in February. I got this meme where it said 177,000 people already lost to suicide.
Yeah.
177,000 already. That's
Yep.
insane. Like, think about how that's a huge number. Now, percentage of that wise is probably mostly males. How much of those are 10 to the 14 range as well? Like that's the scary part we need to worry about. It's like, these things are happening, but we're talking about it though. Like I challenge it every time somebody says we're talking about it more. I'm like, but where are we talking about it? Because like every time the conversation comes up, you see somebody, or was it the lady last year was mocking men's mental health that got completely annihilated on the internet. What did she think was going to happen? You're challenging a whole month about something that's very serious matter and you're making a joke of it. It's like if we were to make fun of something else and you don't like that either, you get offended there. It's like I get it, but at the same time, like expect what's going to happen next. You think these comedians don't go on stage knowing that they're going to make some of these inappropriate jokes and not see the heat coming next? They know what's coming.
Yeah.
You don't think they don't make those jokes and don't see that shit coming? Oh, they know. Trust me. That's why I like George Carlin so much as a kid, man, because he just like he was. You know what I'm saying? Like George would just say whatever. He didn't care. Like he knew you were going to get offended, but he's like, all right, well, I'll include everybody in this conversation. That one famous joke where he says, something you say, everyone's going to get offended, and goes through every racial slur possible. So he's covering it all, but at the same time, it's like you already knew that's what he was going to say. But, and at the same time, it's like you make jokes, but you're not ready for the response you're going to get, but you think you're going to get another response. And then when it gets so bad that you have to delete all your accounts, it's like, Where's the accountability yet? Now you don't want to take no accountability for things you said. You were proud to say it about 10 minutes ago. You were excited to post this video. Then when it goes complete haywall to the opposite direction you want to, then oh, never mind. I don't want the smoke anymore. It's like, no, sorry.
Well, yeah, because I mean, in what we do, you've got a good chance of either, you're going to have a 50-50 shot. People are either going to like it or people are going to hate it. And that's the one thing you got to get used to is the fact that, you're not always going to make everybody happy. You're going to piss somebody off at some point in time with posting something. Somebody's going to go, well, you're full of shit on that.
Like, why run and hide all of a sudden? Then after you do it, now you want it, you got the attention you want it. Then you don't like the attention. What's wrong? You don't like being famous all of a sudden for being the asshole that decided to make that joke that thought it was funny to insult people that deal with these things or lost somebody. It's to me, I just don't get it. I don't understand why we have to be so asinine to each other as people, especially when it comes to something like that. Like Jules posting things about her story and her family members getting mad. It's like, why are you getting mad? It's her story. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Block her.
It's her lived experience, right?
Exactly.
Her lived experience.
Why silence
all
somebody
of us
when they're saying something? You know what I mean? Like for anybody.
And see,
with Jimmy.
Since we started that podcast, since we started the Truth Table, Mike and I, we're TikTok live hosts. Anthony is too. But Mike and I's accounts, when we go live, we've been having people coming and getting restrictions on our lives because they don't like,
I get them too.
One, that we're telling our stories. Two, one of them is like jealous that we haven't asked them to be on the podcast, but they keep posting under like an anonymous name. So it's like, who are you even? Like,
yeah, we get that too.
And it's ridiculous. And my family used to do that too. And so that was another reason why I blocked them, because like that's like my second source of income. Like, and you're just messing with it because you don't like what I have to say.
Well, again, it's frustrating, right? Because it's all we're talking about is our journey, our lived experience
but
of life.
It's so sensitive these days, man. You can't even have a conversation about anything.
Yeah, but Pete, they can come on with that. If you died today, right? You can see those videos. You can see if you jumped off a bridge today, like you can see those.
Exactly my point.
You can see scantily clad woman, right? And you can sell anything you want, but you can't have a real conversation.
It's because it makes people uncomfortable.
Well, then keep scrolling.
But the uncomfortable conversations have to happen.
Exactly.
But that's why like one of our rules to when we have guests come on, and I don't know if we went through this with you, Pete, yet, but one of like our main number one rule is, own what you say what you own. So if you're going to sit there and say you did this, if it comes back, then you better make sure that this is what it is. Because if you're going to put it out there and you're going to say you did this, then, show it. Be proud of it. Own it. And that's what we try to tell people. It's like, there's everybody in this world has, great things that they own personally and mentally. And they've also got the dark side, that they own. And a lot of people don't want to admit they own dark things in their past. And it's granted, yeah, it could be something simple or, something big, which I mean, I've never committed murder or anything like that. But I mean, I've got my skeletons. I haven't always been like the best husband, the best boyfriend to my ex. I mean, it wasn't all just her. It was me too. But I haven't been the best father, and I've got all that in my past, but I own it.
Yeah.
And that's part of what it needs to be.
Yeah, that's the thing though too. When you snatch your mental health back and you have clarity and you look yourself in the mirror and you forgive yourself and forgive others, right? And then start almost as a blank slate of, hey, I'm starting fresh, and I know my past is in the past, and I know there's things that I did that I can't change, right? Things how I made you feel, but hey, this is who I am. This is the man I'm becoming, and not through words, but through actions and showing people. And that's what, for the next question, right? Depression, right? Depression, anxiety, addiction, grief. These hit us, right? Just as hard as they hit anyone else. But we often mask it differently, right? What does masked pain look like for you, Pete?
Just telling people I'm okay and I'm not. I mean, people ask, I'm all right, I'm not. Like, I lied to most people season 1 of the show. Like, I've never been one to hide what really happened. Like the first season of this show, I was so fucking depressed. It was bad. Like I
Yeah.
can tell you, if you go back and watch some of the older videos, like I tell everybody, that same room I recorded, and I never left that room all day until about 5 o'clock. My wife got home, and I made it look like I've been in our bedroom the whole time, but really I was sitting in the room complete darkness, just swallowing in my depression the whole time. And everybody asks you, "Are you okay?" And then you tell them no, because you're okay, because you don't want to tell people no, because you don't think they can handle the conversation, and most people couldn't. My wife couldn't handle the conversation when I told her about, well, I thought about suicide, and she told me to make her the 13th reason why. It's like those are the things that you don't want to happen, but it's hard though, because depression comes and it hits you sometimes, and it's like, well, I'm not feeling like doing anything today, and why? Because I just don't, and it's hard to explain to the people that don't get it. But like there's that Jim Carrey quote I found on Instagram where he's describing it as, depression's like not wanting to be the character not want to be that character today. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to be yourself. You just want to be closed off from everything. I think he put it best when he said it like that, because a lot of people don't understand what it means. And then they're all like, "Oh, cheer up."
Who put my shit on my bed?
So,
David's in trouble.
Uh-oh, David's in trouble. No, but
David's in
you know what I'm
trouble.
saying? Like, it's like when you explain it to people, it's hard for them to understand when things like that are going on.
Yeah.
And with people that haven't been through it, it's hard to describe to their first response is, well, you should just cheer up or go do this. It's like, you don't understand, man. It's a struggle just to get out of bed, to go do anything, to get up,
Brush
do
your teeth,
anything.
take a shower, anything, right?
Yep.
So,
anything is a battle.
Anything. For me, one of my biggest things was, like you said, Pete, just pretending. Everybody asks you okay? Yep, I'm good. And that was after my father died 16 years ago. And I continuously just pushed through it, for almost 15 years of just pretending I was okay, until, I had some things go wrong in my life and blaming everyone. And then I looked myself in the mirror and started taking accountability of my own life and my own actions, and realizing the depression, the anxiety, what it had done, to me, what it had done to others, how I had hurt others, and just masking it and almost becoming a chameleon in every situation I was in, because I had told people I was struggling, I was down and out, and then everybody's like, "No, you're good." So I was just
Exactly.
like, fuck it, I'm good. So I'm just gonna pretend I'm good. I'm just gonna put on the mask every day and pretend I'm good. And when I literally took that mask off and just became back to my true authentic self, that's when everything started picking up, things started going great. And I still struggle on days. I still have, moments where I struggle,
Oh,
but
yeah, for
not
sure.
like I did before. And I'm not going back to the darkness where I was, but this time, if I do, and I say it often, if I do go back to the darkness, I have a lantern and I'll find my way out, because I know life's worth living. We all want to be here. I want to be here. I want to keep spreading the word, of what we're doing on my podcast, Pete's Word, David's, Jules, right? I want to do that every week and do it like we do it here and do it through the
Well,
podcast.
like I said, that's where,
Mhm.
hey, how's your mental health came up, is because think about it. When you ask somebody, how are you doing, they can say, okay. But if you say, hey, how's your mental health, people have to honestly think about that question for a minute. And then they'll stop and ask you, why are you asking me that? And then you can go into explanation what it's about.
Yeah.
Hey, I noticed these things. You're opening the conversation to a whole nother level versus just giving them a quick exit strategy, and that's when I adopted that whole policy, that whole thing of just saying that, because it's like, well, think about it. I asked him that one time, and this kid literally started freaking out because he didn't know what was going on. He's like, why are you asking me that? What's going on? And somebody's trying to explain it to him, like, hey, man, that's just his thing. It's what he asks people, because he's just curious. How are you doing, really?
Yeah.
Is there something, going wrong? And this one guy, dude, he was just flipping out. Like, I'm like, clearly it did something, because he was like, oh, wait, hold on. What's going on? Why are you asking me these questions?
Well, I think you asked it, Pete, because you genuinely care. Sorry about that, Jules. Go ahead.
That's okay. Because of my depression, when I take my son to his family doctor, I always have them do the depression screening with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he always gets so uncomfortable whenever they're asking him those questions. He's like, why are you asking me?
And you can always tell by somebody's demeanor too. Like when you do ask them, how are you? And they'll say, yeah, I'm good. You can tell how like their body acts and everything like that, if there's really something going on. But yeah, you can always tell by, if just the way they look, talk, sound around you, when you know that person's not themselves.
Yeah, and you can see it in their eyes. You can see it in their body. You can see it in the way they move, the way they walk, the way they talk. You can see it. You can see it
Mhm.
definitely.
Body language, some things when you
Body
don't have to
language,
read
no
them
doubt
all,
about it.
for sure.
And yeah, you can see it. And I can see it. You can probably see it too, Pete, when you have guests on that are still struggling, right? That come on and tell you the greatest story, and they're doing
I'm
great. You can
telling you,
tell.
yeah. The
Shit.
one guy, when I was with Jules and them, the one guy I told them about, Brian DeCasio, he came on. If you watch 15 minutes into this interview, this guy starts telling us that he had plans to kill himself that morning. He's like, I had the gun in my hand, and I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But if you watch him though, watch his demeanor change after he makes that statement, goes back to the statement, and then continues the conversation. He seems like a lot different of a person. He seems a little bit better now. He got it off his
Yeah,
chest, but
because exactly the weight of the
exactly. For the
world.
first 15
Yep.
minutes, you can tell something's not right about him a little bit. But once you know. But if you're really watching his body language, he really looks like something's bothering him. And then he just came out and said it. His, man, I just want to tell you, can I tell you something? And then that's when he went into it, like 15 minutes into this conversation. But after it, you could see his demeanor. And there was another girl who has DID that came on. If you watch her demeanor changes throughout the whole conversation. Like she'll get real happy, then she'll get real serious, and like the facial expressions change. And that's really what DID really is like for most people.
Most people, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jules, how did you mask yours?
Well, I normally just tell people that I'm doing fine or I'm okay, because anytime I've ever tried reaching out to family or anything, they're always too busy to talk, or they don't have time for me to talk to them. So I just tell everyone I'm fine.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the universal thing in mental health.
Mhm.
yeah, but like you said, like you can like even my viewers on TikTok, they can tell whenever I'm struggling.
When something's up, yeah.
Mhm.
And David, what was yours?
Pretty much same thing. You tell people you're fine, but you can usually tell because I'll try to keep myself more active, like usually cleaning like the bedroom or something, or just trying to get to a spot where I'm by myself is kind of my big thing. That's when my wife knows, okay, something's bugging him.
Yeah.
And she knows that automatically. I mean, I usually am the one that cleans our room anyways. But if it's not that bad and I'm sitting up there going through and doing like a deep clean on something, she knows something's bugging me. And I mean, that's the same with like her too in that aspect also. But yeah, it's mainly, yeah, I'm good. I'm fine. It is like the biggest thing for me though, she can tell when something's up is when I use the phrase, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And just kind of end it right there.
So, Jules, question for you: does your husband, can he tell when you're not right, or if he feels something's wrong? Does he know how to pick up on that stuff, or has he not figured that out yet?
He has, because because of my excessive drinking in the past, I gave myself chronic pancreatitis. So I was in the hospital in March for 3 weeks. And I didn't have PTO to cover it. So we've been struggling since then. So I've been short on meds because of it, because being short on money. So I think it was like a week or two ago, he must have noticed something. Like, I don't know what he noticed, but he was like, have you taken your meds? Like, are you okay? Like, what's going on? Because he's also been working like 2 jobs, like killing himself just to try to get bills caught up and everything. But yeah, he's like, well, I'm gonna go out and do Uber so I can go get your meds for you, because you can't keep going on like this, because like I'll physically just not be able to get out of bed.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
hats off to him for noticing, though. I'm always curious, though, for the partner to recognize it. Like, Ashley, I know catches his shit, honestly. Let's be honest here. That woman, she could tell a lot of things. I met her, trust me. Me and David were giving her a hard time during the interview. But I was just curious to know that, though, because, we don't really know much about your partner. So I was wondering if he could see certain things. Like with other people, I can notice that, too. Like, other people try and tell you they're okay, and you're like, yeah, I don't think so. Some of these live hosts, you go in there. There's one girl in particular I'm thinking of. she was always live, and I was telling people, I'm like, dude, something's not right with her. Like, you can just tell she's faking a smile the whole time. And I was just like, dude, are you good? Oh, I'm good. No, you're not. Bullshit. You could tell. Like, you could tell that fake, like certain mannerisms you start learning to look for when you're watching people, and you just start watching their facial features, man. You can tell when people are struggling. And you know, you can tell when they don't want to talk about it, but at the same time, you know, they want to talk about it, kind of thing like that, you know. And it's always interesting because I'm always watching people all the time because my anxiety has my level at a whole high. So I'm always constantly people watching people because I'm always studying their mannerisms because I'm interested to know things like I'm really good at reading body language for people. And you can tell a lot of times, like certain things they'll do, they'll say things, the way they look at things. You know, you ever seen what is Ocean's 11, where he sits there and tells them, you know, hey, if you look up those kind of things are what the things they're looking for. Those kind of things too, like the eye movement and things like that. You know, all these kind of things I'm watching people do when you're talking to them. You'll just notice these things as you go. And after all the interviews I've done, like you just notice different things about people as it's happening. And I go back and watch some of the older ones and just see how many mannerisms I can pick up on certain people. And it's interesting to watch, like, as you notice, like the girl at DID was the most interesting one because like the way she changed was just so subtle. Like if you didn't know what you're looking for, you wouldn't know what's going on. She's cycling personalities as she's going through them. And some of them it's really evident. Other people it's not. So it's a very fascinating one if you ever meet somebody with that.
Well, you can also, when you go out in public, like I have with dealing with my trauma and my wife's trauma and that, I mean, we go somewhere and we're always like resilient on looking around, finding out, especially like exits and stuff like that because of what we've been through. Mm-hmm. And you can look around, you can see other people doing the same exact thing, and you're like, okay, I know, you know, you can tell the people that have dealt with trauma and the people that haven't, or, you know, the people that are dealing with something going on emotionally or physically because of their body movements. And you just, like I said, we're always constantly looking around, like, because my wife, when we moved back here, since her ex lives around this area and he's beat the crap out of her, raped her, all of that, and we're always a little bit more hyper vigilant on the scenario in case it's like if she runs into him, it's not that she's scared of him, but she kind of breaks down around him.
Yeah.
If we've run into him, which he won't come up to her if I'm around because last time we talked, I just laughed in his face. But if she's by herself, he'll make sure that he makes his presence known. But at the same time, we're always kind of like, okay, if we have to duck out, where's the easiest way to get out of here? You know, and we're always constantly watching somebody walks into a restaurant or walks out. And you can always tell that with people when they've dealt with trauma because everybody's doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So everybody, what does your, you know, we'll start with Jules on this. What does your daily mental wellness, right, practice look like right now? Not the TikTok version, the real version, right? What are you actually doing every day to protect your mind?
Well, recently I've started getting rid of toxic family relationships.
Good.
Like I finally just realized, like, they're always too busy for me. They never answer me, or like my stepmom likes to say, I only ever come around when I need things. Like, no, I come around when I want to talk to my dad. It's not like I'm asking you for materialistic things.
Yeah.
So I like cut as much of that out of my life as I could. And I've also limited doom scrolling. I only allow myself so much doom scrolling a day.
I used to do that every night.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I was 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm telling you,
I've been dealing with a depressive episode.
What's up, bro? How we doing?
Last year. So I have made it like a thing in my mind. Like, even if I can't physically get myself in the shower today, like, I'm at least going to make the steps towards the shower and like slowly move my way there.
Yeah.
Small victories. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah. Small victories.
Yep.
So David, what does yours look like?
Oh boy. I don't know. I just constantly push through if I'm ever like starting to kind of wake up in a bad mood. Like, because right now I'm having issues with my ADHD meds myself because I just got told I got stopped taking my third ADHD med, and I'm waiting for the insurance to approve my next one, which is the fourth one. So, and that one was really making it more of a struggle to even get out of bed because I would take it. They're like, "Oh yeah, take it right away in the morning." Well, I'd get up. I made sure our 12-year-old is up and going to school and let the dogs out, take my meds, and next thing I know, I'm just passing right out until almost like 11 o'clock, and then my wife's trying to get me going, and I can't like barely move. But by the time 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night comes around, I'm wide awake, and she's like, okay, something's not right. But mainly, it's just constantly keep pushing it and knowing that, there's other people out there that depend on me to push through. Even if I'm not doing that great, I still have to push through, especially because my wife, when she gets down in that with, the cancer and all that stuff, I've got to show that I'm strong in that and can push through it and constantly, maintain her positive attitude at the same time, because there's days where she wakes up and is like, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do the fight to do this. And it's like, come on, we need to keep going. I've got to annoy you for the rest of my life. You've got to outlast me. That's how it's supposed to go. And that's kind of what keeps me going, is just the people around me. And yeah, cutting out the bad people is one of the biggest things too, because I've cut out so many people in my life just due to the fact of the negativeness and all that. You just kind of realize that, you're a better person for what you can make it through and how you can overcome things. And in the same time too, it's a two-way street with a lot of it. If you need something, you should be able to talk to them, and if they need something, they should be able to talk to you. It should be a two-way, not just one person always making the attempt but then sitting there saying, well, you could have done this or you could have done that. It's like, I did. You never came back on that. So, but just keep pushing through, and just think of the people that depend on you, and that's what gets me going.
Pete, what about you, Paul?
My regular day consists of currently talking to the better half, Trina, all day usually. Depends what I'm doing. I'll get up, I'll read a book. I'm usually multitasking. Like, me and her hang out all day talking most days. Like, we're usually watching movies, watching shows. I'm usually out. I've been going outside lately, so everybody congratulating me touching grass because I've been outside the last few days catching some sea out in the rays of sunshine.
Yeah, that's why I'm outside today. So I'm feeling great, like $1 million.
I'm constantly trying to do something, man. I'm trying to keep productive, especially with everything that's been going on the last few days, and then getting ready to relocate and things like that. So I'm working through all that stuff. I've got a lot going on, but I'm still recording the show and everything else I'm doing. It's just I try to keep busy. Like I get up and at least take a shower is a victory and do stuff like that. Take my medicine. Because if not, I'll get yelled at. Because if I don't take them, it'll be, oh, did you take them today? I'm like, yeah, I took them.
Yeah, it's the worst feeling in the world.
But, I try to do something, man. I just try to get up, do something, read a book. I got tons of books. I've been reading Erica Horowitz's book. It's been really good, though. I've been crunching through that one really well. I took me on vacation and those, I'm multitasking. So, I'm doing multiple things at once. So like if I'm on the phone, I'm doing something, I'm watching something there, I'm reading something, I'm doing multiple things at once to keep my man generator going. So, every day is different. Sometimes I'll get online, play some of those online video games, rage a little bit on there. It depends how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah. For me, it's, daily routine, making sure I take my meds, drinking a lot of water, getting outside, but also making sure I stick to my schedule when it comes to the podcast. And also, making sure, Pete knows this and David as well. When you start a podcast, right, you connect with a lot of people and you still stay in contact with them. You may talk to them every day, every other day, every couple of days. And doing that, right? I had, so many great guests. I had this Tristan Height, who is one of the most powerful women I've ever met. Lost her fiance to suicide, and her daughter got diagnosed with cancer a year later at 12, ended up passing away at 14. And she's out there still doing a thing. She was just at a retreat over the weekend doing a retreat for 13. There was 13 people there who had lost their kids. No, she's awesome. I'll send you her way. She is unbelievable, Pete. She's just so great. And she was at a retreat over the weekend with 13 people that had lost kids to cancer. She's doing so much. She's doing a lot of great things, and she's powerful. and just making sure, keeping in touch with the guests, keeping in touch with the fans, and just getting a routine of just and also the big thing, learning to separate myself from people that no longer serve a purpose or a need in my life, or separate myself from people that aren't good for my mental health, or I'm not good for their mental health, maybe, and being able to realize that, and disconnecting from those, and doing that, but also staying true to who I am, staying true to my values, and making sure every day when I wake up, being grateful that I'm still here, right, and doing my thing. And I'm grateful to have this podcast and platform where I can do that. So, guys and girls, we've got men listening right now who are white knuckling it, right? They're exhausted, they're lost, and they're too proud to admit it. We'll start with Pete. What is your direct message to that man right now, Pete?
Reach out. Listen, we don't have to tell anybody we talked if that's the way you want to keep it, but I'm always available. You can hit me up on anything. X all the way down to TikTok. I'm everywhere. If you want my personal number, I'll give you my personal number. If I feel like you need attention, I'll respond. Shit, I even got a Discord that you can come join. You can message me directly there. I'll answer you every chance I get. Like I said, you don't have to be alone. You're not. Honestly not. I'm here. I'm waiting for you to reach out to let me know. We don't have to tell anybody we're talking. It doesn't have to be anybody's business,
Exactly.
It's strictly between us. David tells me at those times he likes to cross-dress, but that's for another conversation. But anyways.
He told you that too. He told me that too. And Massimo too. Massimo likes to cross-dress too.
Oh, no.
I can't even deny it. There's a video on TikTok of it.
Damn, Jules is over there going like, God, what am I left with these maniacs?
So, David, what's your message?
Pretty much the same thing. If anybody needs something, just reach out, it doesn't have to be anything recorded. It can just be, you need an ear, I'll sit and listen. You need text me, I'll text, back or anything like that. Cause if you can't get your message out, sometimes it just sits there and festers in your head. And sometimes the best medicine for any of that is just have somebody listen and talk and let it out. So if anybody wants my phone number, I'm more than willing to give it to you. So just remember though, if you text Pete, you're not going to get an answer back for a couple of hours.
I'm a busy guy.
Or if any, Pete has me on red for 6 weeks now. No, that's a joke, people. If you do need to reach out, I say it. If you need to reach out, Pete's there. Pete's always there. Pete is always there 24/7, 365.
I just had to give you some crap on that, Pete.
All the way down to TikTok.
Now they reel back. See them just start reeling back now. They're like, oh, never mind. One glance is all it takes.
Joel, as a woman, right, what do you say to that man right now, right? That's white knuckling it. He's exhausted. He's lost, and he's too proud to admit it. Or that woman right now that's in that same position. What do you say?
I would say the same things I always say to my viewers. If no one's told you lately, I love you. I'm proud of you. You are worthy. You are enough. Another day.
Yeah, that's awesome. And for me, my big thing is reach out, like we've been saying, right? But also that we want you here. You need it here, right? You have a purpose here. In that look, right? If you're in the darkness right now and you're sitting there, just look. There's a flicker of light. There's somebody there. Whether it comes through someone, whether it's your mother and father that come through with the light, whether it's an aunt, uncle, a cousin, maybe it's that message that I got on Facebook Messenger. The light's there. You just can't see it because you're so far in the woods. But believe me, I've been there. Pete's been there. David's been there. Jules been there. We've all been there. We've all been in that dark forest. We're the true people right now that are talking about this, that's bringing it to light, because we don't want you guys to be in the dark. We want you to speak up and let you know that you're seen, you're heard, you're valued. We need you here. We want you here. And that's what the podcast here, this live, is all about, just letting people know, right? I've already said to Pete, I want to go to Zoom and I want to get 100 people on there. I want everybody to come on and share your journey, share your life, and just come on and chat with us, And we're not these people that you see on TikTok, Instagram, all these famous people that, we'll be there, we'll do this, right? You see all these people, life coaches this. If you connect with me, text me, message, I'm there. I'll send it back to you. I'll keep up with you. I'll check in. And a great resource is 988. If you're struggling and you feel like you can't trust anybody, call or text 988. It's one of the greatest resources and tools that we have. But also, right, if you feel like you can't talk to anybody, I'm telling you, Pete, David, myself, Jules, we're there. We will pick up the phone. We will message you back. We're there. Not because we want a pat on the back, but because we truly love you and we want you to know that you deserve to be here. And that's my message to people. So before we get to the rapid fire, right, before we end, I want to ask one more question, right? What's one more thing you wish was different about how our culture, workplaces, schools, sports, families handles men's mental health? And what are you going to do about it?
God, man.
That's a good one.
I think it's a really good point there, though. They need to have better structure set up for mental health in general. Like, they need to start taking this as a serious thing. Like, the numbers don't lie where we're at. Like,
Yeah.
what more do we need to say? Like, I don't do this show just because I'm going to get famous. It'd be nice, nice to
Exactly.
be a paying gig.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's still something that's needed. These people don't sign up to come talk to me just to come hang out with me because I'm a fun guy. No, they want to talk about the same thing.
They want to be seen. They want to be heard.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
it's scary that we all say we're talking about it, but where are we talking about it? Because I'm talking about it, Jimmy talks about it, Jewel, and everybody else here talks about it, but
And David.
you know what I mean? And Dave, well, we guess we can include David, I guess.
Aw.
I was gonna say I talk about it 6 times a day across my platform.
But you know what I'm saying, though? It's like, it's obviously something that needs to be addressed, and then it's not getting addressed enough. Like, if we're losing people at the rate we're losing them, it's crazy. We're burying our children because of this shit. It's got to stop.
Mhm.
Like, what more do we have to say?
Yeah.
That's why for like schools and stuff like that with the younger generation, they need to have, and I'm not saying anything bad because I know there's good counselors out there, but they need to kind of get a little more on it. Maybe even teach a class on how to release, emotions better instead of, just bottling everything up inside, and how to kind of talk and, let other people in instead of always building the walls. Because I know my school, yeah, if you showed your emotions, you got your butt kicked for the most part.
Yeah.
But it needs to be a little more out there. Because I mean, you've got health class and stuff like that, but there should be like a mental maturity class out there too.
Nothing.
Exactly. And I think if some teachers and counselors took the time and actually sat down with the kids to kind of get that out there, we might see a decline in like younger people in that, especially trying to commit suicide or something. But for the most part, it's just a lot of it is most people have to get over that older stereotype that, people don't show your emotions. You don't let people in. You keep everything bottled up. But in the same sense, too, you've got to have those people that when somebody sits and talks to you, they'll know that they're just talking to you. You don't need to sit there and turn around and tell the next person their problems and what they're going through, because then all of a sudden it's like that person might sit there and go, well, everybody's talking about me. I don't know what else to do. I can't talk to this person because they just say that. And it's just people have got to start kind of getting more in tune with what's personal and what's not, and what should just stay between two people. Almost like everybody should have their own HIPAA law or something, but yeah, it should just stay with that person. If that person doesn't want it out and just wants to talk to one person, it should just be that way.
Yeah. And Jules, what do you think?
I think it's sad what the mental health has come to. I personally think that it has already become an epidemic in our country, and it's affecting the younger ones more and more every day. We actually, and unfortunately, it always seems to take a tragedy for there to be something done about it.
Yeah, but we're losing kids. We're losing so many men, right? It is a tragedy every day,
My son's school, they had a student in my son's grade. I mean, he was amazing. He was a wrestler. I'm pretty sure he played baseball as well. He was a great athlete. he had all kinds of friends, but apparently he had some mental health demons going on. And one day his mom walked in and found him hanging in his closet from his belt. After that, the school brought in children's psychologists.
Yeah.
But it took something like that happening
To happen, yeah.
for anything to be acknowledged.
And why can't they have those counselors at school every day for the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so for me, right, for when it comes to culture, workplace, schools, sports, and families, right, when it comes not just to men's mental health, to mental health in general, what I think needs to happen in all of those is that we need to normalize the conversation of mental health in our culture, in our workplaces, in our schools, in our sports, in the families. We need to normalize it. And it's okay to talk about it. That's what I think needs to happen, right? Now we're going to get to rapid fire. We're going to get to rapid fire. And this is, we're going lightning round. Short, sharp, honest. First thing that comes to mind, we're going to start with Pete. Pete, therapy, game changer or overrated?
You know what? I say overrated, only because there's so many other things out there that therapy can't be the only option for people now.
Yeah.
We already know that.
David?
Well, both, because it's overrated for some people that it doesn't work for, but on the other end, there are some people that when they do find that one person that actually hits on the topic, they can let it out. So I'm going to have to be neutral on it.
Joel?
I mean, I could see both sides, but if I had to choose, I would say overrated because I've done so much therapy. It never works. My TikTok platform I use as my safe space, and that gives me, that is like more therapy or therapy
than you've ever had. Yeah. Same as me. I'd say overrated for the simple fact is I'm in talk therapy 16 years. Talk therapy has not gotten to the root of the problem. I got to the root of my own problem. So I think but I think it's also a tool that can be utilized if you are doing other things as well. Getting out, seeing sunshine, go enjoying your favorite thing that you do, your favorite food that you like, doing that. So the next one is the best thing someone can do for their mental health that costs absolutely nothing.
Self-care. Simple as that. Self-care.
Self-care. David?
Take time out for yourself. Yeah, I guess self-care.
Self-care, Jules?
Take the freaking nap.
Yeah, I love that. I love all of those. So
they're targeted at me a little bit there, but it's okay.
Pete, now here's the next one. One book, one podcast, or resource that changed how you think about your mind.
One podcast? Like I did my own podcast, honestly, man. I talk to people every single day about this. Like,
Yeah.
Like if you look from day one to where I'm now, like you see the evolution of Pete just happen right before your eyes.
Yeah. David?
Oh boy. Basically the best thing that's helped me out is honestly kind of the same answer Pete's got. It's my book but not out. You listen to the first 10 or 15 episodes, it's me actually letting stuff out, and to be honest, after I let it out, it was emotionally draining, but man, I felt better.
He wanted to say Pete vs. Anxiety as well. It's okay.
Jules, go ahead.
I love two TikTok creators. One is Mario Calderon, who is also bipolar and depressed. And then Your Anxiety is Lying to You.
I love that dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, my platform.
Well, for me,
anxiety as well. It's okay.
For me, it's going to be, my own podcast, Pete vs. Anxiety podcast, Voice of the Voiceless, right? That's going to be in everything David has, because I can't go through the list because we don't have enough time here in closing. But for me, it's that, right? It's being able to go on other platforms like mine, like Pete's podcast, and realize, right, two guys sitting together talking, having such a normal conversation between the two of us. Why can't that be normal everywhere? Just sit down and have that great conversation that Pete and I had, right? And we included the dryer repair guy.
Oh, yeah.
He actually joined us as well, because we do real things over here. So last one, right? I want you to complete the sentence. We'll go Pete, David, Jewel, right? Real strength looks like
talking about your mental health.
David?
letting out your emotions.
Jewel?
Communicating.
So
Love
for
it.
me, real strength looks like me. That's what I'm going to say. I know it sounds cocky, but that's how I'm going to
Nothing
finish
wrong
the
with that.
show. So, all right, everybody, right? I need a minute before we say goodbye because I want to speak directly to the man listening to this right now. Maybe you're in your car, maybe you're at the gym, maybe you're lying in bed and you found this tonight, this live, because something in you knew you needed to hear it tonight. I want to tell you something, and I want you to feel every word of this. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not far gone. You are a human being who has been carrying weight in silence for way too long. And the bravest thing you can do, the most manly thing you can do, is set that weight down and ask for help. Not because you've given up, but because you refuse to. To everyone at this table tonight, thank you. Thank you for your honesty, your fire. You showed up for everyone listening. That matters more than you know. And everybody, by pressing play, you said yes. Keep going. One more day, one more step. Go all in your life, in your healing, on becoming the man and woman you were always meant to be. And before we go, I just want to give a couple resources, right? I want to give you a couple resources, right? But also, I want to give you a call to action. Reach out to one man this week, text him, call him, show up at his door. You know who I'm talking about. The guy who's been quiet lately, who's pulling away. Don't wait. He needs you now. Be the friend you wish you had when you were struggling. Take one step for your own mind. One step. That's it. Schedule that therapy appointment. Download the meditation app. Download Pete's app. Go for that walk. Talk to your pastor, your coach, your barber, someone. Mental health is not a destination, it's a daily choice. Make that choice today. And then, if this conversation hits you, send this to a man in your life, your brothers, your boys, your son, your dad, your coworker. One share could change someone's life. I mean that. You might be the reason a man decides not to give up tonight. Share it right now. And if you know someone who's in crisis, please reach out. 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Call or text 988. And everybody, you are not alone. I just want to say, everybody, thanks for coming. Pete,
Yes, sir.
David,
Word of-
Thank you
Jules,
for
very
having
nice
me.
to meet you. I'm so excited to have you, part of the team now. You're welcome back anytime. You have that
Thank
link.
you.
I only ask one thing. Do not share that link with anybody.
Share it out.
And you can come back whenever you want every week.
Share it out.
Do not share the link.
Share it out.
And everybody, please reach out. Reach out. Speak up. Talk. Pete, any closing words, my friend?
Nope. Just find me a Spotify, down the Pandora Radio, guys. Reach out if you want to be on the show. Don't forget to check out my partner, PsychPal. You guys want a 7-day free trial? Let me know. You get a 20% off your first month to use the code Pete at checkout. Guys, remember, don't ask you your day. It's ask, hey, how's your mental health?
David, any closing words, my friend?
Just if anybody's wanting to, like I said, just message me, reach out. Same thing like Pete said. We're willing to listen, and you guys can check anything out on YouTube, on Spreaker, Bad Habits Network, or Shannon Family Products, Bad Habits Network. And if you want something to read, like I said, I've got my book out on Amazon, Broke But Not Out.
Cool. Closing words. Where they can find you.
If you ever need to reach out, I'm a listening ear. My main platform is TikTok, Jewel_Blaze, BLASE. My DMs are always open, and I do actually always go through every single one. I am also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And if you want to heal out loud and tell your story, reach out to me, DM me, or DM the podcast page, the Truth Table Podcast. We're looking for special guests to share their story with people. We need to spread more awareness.
Love it. There you go,
Perfect.
Jewel.
And
Look at Jewel go. She killed that one. There you go.
killed
Love
it
it.
in closing.
Love it.
And you can find me everywhere. Uncle Jimmy's Podcast. You can email me, unclejimmyspodcast@gmail.com. And I just want to say, everybody, thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining us tonight. Thank you for the people that tuned in. And everybody, here's the panel. You can reach out to any of us. We'll be there for you. So if in doubt and you feel like you have nobody you can reach out to, here's 4 people that are willing and able to listen. So reach out. You're too important not to. All right, everybody. Love you all. See you next week.
Later.
Later. Your internet every time.
Oh, he wasn't kidding. He was out.
He left his own studio. It's great. He left his own studio. What the heck?
Do I have to wait for anything to like upload like Marines?
No,
Should
you
be good.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
you're good.
All right, bye.
Later.